Right then, let's go. Welcome back to the England One Cap podcast, episode 5. After today, got a little five-a-side team going. But before we introduce the player today, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Robert Prendergast. Your name is?
Callum Shaw is the name.
How you feeling today, Callum? You excited for the player we're talking about?
It's a juicy one for sure. We had our longest running podcast last week, and I think this could eclipse it and some.
Yeah, I know. It's either going to be 5 minutes because we want to hush over a lot of it, or we're going to talk about it for like 3 hours. But
it's going to be like Justice League, you know. There's going to be a Snyder Cut somewhere out there with all the stuff behind closed doors.
Yeah, well, the fans have got that to look forward to. Might I say, sorry for the Spotify listeners, because people on YouTube, we're looking like two very handsome young men today. Fresh haircuts, fresh shaves. I'm going to shout out Rez's Barbers in Crouch End because he asked me to, and he's listening. So, God bless you, Rez.
Cheers, right. Rez.
Yeah, cheers, Rez. But let's quickly move the attention because we've got a lot to get through. The player we're talking about today, who goes by the name of Joey Barton. You need silence. You need silence after you say that name.
You do. Or just like a bit of Jaws music just creeping through.
Or a judge banging his gavel against the table afterwards. Yeah. Joseph Anthony Barton. His initials spelled jab. So there's one thing that man likes. It's jabbing people in the face.
Yeah.
Or in the throat. A very ropey man with a lot to talk about. One cap for England in Feb 2007. Let's start where it started for him. He was in the Everton Academy, but he started. I think he went Everton Academy, then Man City Academy.
I think like literally for like potentially a matter of weeks or months. I couldn't get precise details. It was actually at Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything about it. So.
Well, I found a little bit about it because for my research of this, believe it or not, I've been listening to Joey Barton's autobiography audiobook, narrated by the author, and
magical.
It's a ropey book. It is so weird. It's like the first line of that book is the smackhead in the corner is sitting silently, enduring the agonies of withdrawal, and I'm just like, have I just put on Trainspotting? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it goes like that, and he's just talking about council estate scraps and being in prison and selling drugs, and I didn't listen to all of it, let's be honest. But it's a weird one. I mean, I was reading the reviews for the book, and some people are like, have compared it to Alan Partridge's autobiography within the Alan Partridge series, where he ends every chapter with, needless to say, I had the last laugh. I mean, it's kind of just like that with Barton. It's like he's writing about how he's getting this victory over everyone. And it's like, yeah, you're not winning this. You haven't won that encounter.
I don't want to listen to it, but however, you are selling it to me in a weird way. I'm very intrigued now. This Alan Partridge, Joey Barton autobiography.
Also, I listened to it on Amazon. I thought I could get unlimited audiobooks. Turns out you only get one free audiobook. So I've spunked my free trial on Joe fucking Barton's autobiography. I had so much I wanted to listen to, and now I've got to pay for it. I feel like an absolute mug. So I got to listen to all of it now.
Yeah.
So the reason I said that, he did briefly go to Liverpool, but I think his dad called up the club and was like, nah, sorry, we're Evertonians in this family. Phoned down, then went to Manchester City. Which works out quite well. Don't often hear Manchester City Academy product, really, do we?
No. Yeah, because they're a long old time, aren't they? Professional debut, like 2002, obviously in the academy a bit as well. But yeah, it's weird, like we were saying off camera, I never think of like Man City and Joey Barton together. I don't know if that's just because how good all the big players at Man City now. It's weird to think of a time where Joey Barton was one of their main starters. You know what I mean?
know. Yeah, Matt, it's so weird thinking about Man City now. I can't really remember. I remember Elano. Do you remember him?
Yeah, that was the Sven Goran Eriksson era,
right?
Where
Okay.
he brought in like so many players from abroad, like just random people that you'd think were made up. So good.
Plus Stephen Ireland.
Yeah, plus
For a
Steve
bit,
Ireland.
but he was off sick most of the time when he was at Man City.
Yeah, too busy faking deaths and whatnot.
Yeah. But it's where he spent the majority of his career. The most amount of games he's played for one club was Manchester City. 130 Premier League appearances and then 15 goals, which is good, respectable.
I think it's decent return, especially when he's quite a young player for a lot of that time, and it's not like he's an attacking centre mid. So
yes,
not bad.
Sprinkled out with genuine criminal convictions whilst he was there. I think because he did go to prison, but I don't think he went. I think he got a 4-month suspended sentence when he was at Man City, and then when he later went to prison, that was then taken into account with his sentence.
Yeah,
I think that's how it worked.
That's basically what happened. Yeah. So yeah, he got a suspended sentence, didn't have to go, but it means if he reoffended, he would go and potentially for longer than you would have got. So
yeah. Usman Dabo.
Darbo. I honestly don't know how to say his name. I remember him very briefly just from like Football Manager game or like Championship Manager games.
Did Sven bring him in?
Might have been just before Sven. Might have been Stuart Pearce, that one, I think. But yeah, it was it's mad. That story's crazy. The punch up.
Battered him on the training ground, didn't he? Did he break his eye socket? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I know he just absolutely went it. Like there was no retaliation from Darby really. I mean,
he just kept hitting him on the ground. He was gone, but he just kept hitting him. Absolute thug.
It's crazy. Like you can't believe it happens at professional football. Like everyone knows there's going to be like arguments, and it might be a bit of pushing, but to like go up to someone and just relentlessly hit them whilst they are clearly knocked out.
I said train spotting when I was reading about his autobiography.
Yeah.
You've seen Train Spotting, have you?
Yeah, long time ago. Probably need to give it a rewatch, but yes, I have seen it.
Joey Barton basically is Begbie in Train Spotting. He's just addicted to the drama, to the fighting, and Begbie's my favorite character. If Joey Barton was a fictional character, if I was watching Ted Lasso and Joey Barton was in it, I'd be like, he's my favorite character. But because he's a real person, I'm just like, don't like this at all.
It is that thing. It is that thing that it's someone that you want to like, but because his actions affect real life people, it's like, can't really like that person.
I know, and there's so much to his character. I want there to be an arc at the end, and that we all eventually realise that he was a misunderstood genius. But then he just keeps like he was on Question Time once. Have you seen that episode of Question Time?
I've not. No, I thought you were going to say Question of Sport because he does a really good episode of Question of Sport as well. But I'll go with your Question Time story.
It did Question Time. It was 2014. For some reason, I remember watching this at the time. I imagined it was for Joey Barton because I've never watched Question Time in my life. Joey Barton and Piers Morgan on it, and Joey's just there, just rattling people. He just because he had this. I say controversial. In the grand scheme of his career, this was not a controversial moment. But he described UKIP as, if you're in a club and there's 4 ugly girls, UKIP's the least ugly one. And the whole audience are just like, but could you not have just thought of a different analogy for that?
It's just poetic from Joey Barton. It
really is. There's plenty of poetry in that autobiography of a similar ilk, I'll tell you that. But it's just... he's just got such little weird side stories in his career.
Yeah.
So Man City, that's where he gets his England call up. We're not messing about on this episode. Straight into the England call up.
Yeah.
February 2007.
Yeah.
Spain friendly. Comes on late on for Frank Lampard. I thought he played really well. Not really well, because we lost 1-0, but you just tell he's giving everything.
Yeah. Well, you just know he's one of those players that is going to absolutely try their utmost hardest when he plays for England. But yeah, I was thinking about this before. In fact, I say before, about a year ago. It was when we played Spain in like the Nations League group stage. I was thinking like, we barely ever play Spain, and then back of my mind was like, there was one time we lost 1-0. I couldn't remember when it was, and then when I was researching this, I was like, that was the game. I remember watching that game because we were awful. We were absolutely awful. That was McLaren. We actually had a good team out, but absolute shambles that game.
Did Kieran Dyer start that game?
He definitely played. I think he did start. He either came on quite early or started. But I think he did start. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought this when I was watching this. Kieran Dyer is one of those players we just kept picking for England, and he never performed for England. I think he got like 30 games for England. Maybe I might be wrong.
Yeah, definitely more than you think. Anyway, but I don't remember a time when Kieran Dyer was ever performing full stop. Like,
yeah,
because he had so many injuries as well. He was such a weird player to me. When I was younger, I could never understand why he was playing for England.
Good on FIFA though, wasn't he?
He was good on FIFA, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a hallmark trait of any top player.
It is for our generation, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember good FIFA players from random foreign leagues better than I do some really good players in the Premier.
Yeah, no, literally, that's so true. Right, let's stick on Barton. Barton comes on, gives his all for 15 minutes. And while I've disliked him a lot watching him on other teams, I look at this, I see him in the team I'm supporting, and I think, oh, you like someone like that on your team. You like I remember when in the best ever Yeovil squad, Jamie McAllister came in as our club captain, got in a scrap in like the 5th minute of his debut. We were all like, yes, love that. Loved it.
100%. Joey Barton for me is that player. Whenever someone says that thing where it's like, oh yeah, but if he played for your team, you'd love him. Joey Barton for me, when I started, that was the first player where everyone was like, you hate him, but if he was on your team, he'd be one of your favourite players.
I think so. I think I would. I mean, it's easy to say that, but I don't know. I just think I'd love it. A centre midfield who's going to chop everything and go for every ball. I think there's something we're losing that a little bit, and I think there's something so great about it. You know?
Yeah, because Joey Barton could go to any ground in England as a player on the away team, and he'd get booed by every single person. Yeah. He was like that proper villain in football. And like you said, we don't really have any of them anymore.
No.
Because everyone's kind of so likable now. Everyone gets on now.
Everyone's got a PR team now.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, we're losing that a bit, and Barton was like the perfect villain at that time. Everyone loved to boo him.
Everyone loved to hate him, didn't they? Still do, really.
Yeah.
So he left Man City. Not on great terms, I don't think. I think he left all of his clubs on not amazing terms.
I'm pretty sure it's because of the training ground bust up that he got.
Yeah, nearly killing a man didn't help, did it?
Yes. Probably viable grounds for a sacking, that I'd say.
And then he goes to Newcastle United. He used to play right mid for Newcastle.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah.
Strange. I'm going to mention this autobiography a lot. Opening paragraph. He talks about being an adaptable player and playing right mid for Newcastle. and mildly suggested that he's the reason Andy Carroll looked so good and got a move to Liverpool. On a paper every day, which I can't argue with. I can't actually say he's wrong because look at Andy Carroll, you know.
Yeah, because he stuck around with Newcastle in the Championship, Barton, when they got relegated. Back in whatever it was, 09, something like that. So yeah, I mean, I can't really remember him being at Newcastle like Joey Barton is just a player that he's around because everyone's booing him, hating him, but like actual football wise, I could never like pick out a good performance or a game where I remember him playing. It's a weird one like that for such like a big figure in the game. But yeah, perfect fit for him. Newcastle as a club, like one city club, very passionate fans. I bet he did love it there.
I bet he loved it. I bet it really suited him. I just remembered this now. I mentioned Joe Barton on another podcast. I said there was a quote from him where he said, all my career was taking it from better players on the other side and then giving it to better players on our side. And I think that's it's just kind of, it's not that big of a rewarding role in football, you know? It's not like you're a winger and everyone can see you running, or you're a striker and everyone can see the goals. Sometimes you go unnoticed. Sometimes a centre mid has had a good game because you haven't really noticed him that much. You know he's been running and tackling all game. And perhaps that's why we can't really pinpoint.
Well, that's 100%. You could name loads of players like that, but yeah, Barton definitely. It's that unnoticed role of just keeping everything together, doing the simple things on the ball. You get no recognition for it, but
he's got his recognition now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he compensated in other ways.
Newcastle United. We didn't notice him that much. He loved playing under Big Sam. It seems like a fit, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Spent 4 years there, 81 appearances, 7 goals, excluding cup competitions, and then went to the team which I probably first associate as, if you say Joey Barton, I would think this team, Queen's Park Rangers, or QPR, if you prefer. 4 years there as well, where he did, did all sorts of things, didn't he?
Yeah. Obviously, must have been his first season. The big game at the end of the 11-12 season, Man City v QPR. Watching that. Well, for people who don't know, he basically decided to try and take on the whole of Manchester City starting 11. He probably would have tried to fight everyone in the ground as well if he wasn't ushered down the tunnel. But yeah, I remember watching that and thinking, I'm not sure I've ever seen someone lose their head this much in a game of it just seemed like he'd done one thing and he thought, well, I'm gonna have the book thrown at me now anyway, so I'm just gonna.
He literally said that because he kicks Aguero.
Yeah.
When he's walking off, he said the words, well, I knew I was getting sent off, so I thought I might as well take one of them with me.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
But imagine if one of your players said that. I'd like it. Last game of the season, you have to stay. You have to win to stay up. Or at the time, they thought they had to win because Bolton. Was it Bolton?
Yeah. Basically, if Bolton bettered their score, they'd have gone down. But Bolton lost anyway, or drew.
And then they drew to Stoke. Peter Crouch dived for a penalty.
But yeah, obviously you're still playing in a game where you want to win to make sure, and he's just absolutely lost his head, and
he's gone, isn't he?
Imagine if QPR had gone down.
Yeah,
he'd have been absolutely hated.
They'd have out again. They sent him on loan next season, didn't they?
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had 3. I can't see it now. He had 3 FA disciplinary charges. 1 for that, 1 for the punching Dabo, whatever his name is.
Dabo, yeah.
And fighting our friend Morten Gantz Pedersen.
Oh yeah, did he punch? Did you just punch it in the stomach? It was the punch in the stomach.
This is funny because I don't know what he did because I've read so many things. I was skimming the wiki and I just read headbutt, lunge, throat. And I was like, oh, those are 3.
I remember this now. Yeah, he walks up to Morten Gantz Pedersen and just fists like that and just under the gut, just jabs him like that. And Morten Gantz Pedersen went down, and yeah, obviously, red card.
In the Premier League, how many red cards and yellow cards do you think Joey Barton got?
I've got a while to try and work this out in my head.
And then tell me about every single one.
Yeah. Oh, I reckon. Although I don't remember his name being on that red card list. It's probably might be. I don't know. I reckon 5 or 6 red cards. I don't know how many yellows. 40.
6 reds and 78 yellows.
70. Okay. Okay.
Which is a lot, but some players have got over 100 in the Prem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I probably undercut that, to be fair.
It's a lot, though, isn't it? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
And you can see whether it's not. I don't know. Maybe there would be more. I'm surprised he hasn't got the record.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I never remember seeing him on. When you do those Sporkle games, most red card stuff. I never remember seeing him in the top 10 of any of them. And yeah, like you say, there's people with a bit over 100. So
yeah, I think red cards 8 or 9 is the record. Richard Dunn and Duncan Ferguson.
Yeah.
And then a third one, maybe Vieira. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot. His first red card, no one knew what happened because he got sent off at half time for something he did in the tunnel.
Well, that would not be the first time he got in trouble in a tunnel. I'll tell you that for free.
Moving on. So end of the season, QPR tries to fight every man and his dog, falls out of the club, and goes on loan to Marseille. What a plot twist.
It was a bizarre one. Remember at the time being really heavily talked about. Everyone just could not get their heads around Joey Barton, the most English man, He probably tried to vote leave twice. He probably did his best. Off to Marseille. Couldn't believe it.
I do occasionally look on eBay and was like, I wonder if I can get a Joey Barton Marseille top. That would be quite interesting. But
do you know what number he was for Marseille?
No, do you?
No, I don't.
I'd
quite like to know.
Oh, well, we'll try and find out. I thought you were going to tell me some fact that he played number 69 or something like that.
Sorry, wish I could.
You see that interview he does with the forced French accent?
Yeah, it's that Hall of Fame, isn't it? Barton doing the French, McLaren doing the Dutch, David Moyes doing his bit of Spanish.
Yeah, it's he said afterwards, he's like, I always give Steve McLaren stick for when he did the Dutch one. I don't know where it came from. Next thing I knew, I started speaking in a French accent.
I think about this, and I kind of think I'd do the same for some reason, or I'd have to stop myself from doing it.
But all the French journalists understood him because he did it. But I don't care about that. I just care about how funny it is for the English people who are watching.
For the English people, yeah. Oh, brilliant.
What can I say? I wasn't watching Marseille week in, week out that season.
No, they weren't on BT Sport constantly that season, so neither was I.
Oh, well, even if they were.
Not that I would have been anyway. I don't know what I'm saying.
Am I going to sit down and watch the French league? No.
Trying to make out to everyone that I'm some indie football fan that watches French football. I don't.
the best player in history now plays for a French team, and I'm still not really that
Yeah,
bothered.
well, if there was ever an incentive, which there still isn't, that is potentially
Marseille, one season there, comes back to QPR, let the dust settle,
it.
and then manage to go back out and
Go
play.
to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for it all to blow over.
I like the idea that his agent was like, "We got to get out of the country for a year, Jerry. You've got to fucking lay low for a bit."
Pack a bag tonight.
And he's like, "Where the fuck's Marseille?" 2 seasons at QPR, more of the same, getting in trouble for stuff, weeks fines here and there. Before he then goes to Burnley. Now this is an interesting one because I always, in my head, this is where he plays his best football. Burnley. Don't you think he was amazing when the first season he was at Burnley?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just exactly the kind of player that would like fit in a Sean Dyche system. Works hard, does his job, tidy on the ball, good in the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect fit for Burnley. And I went to the Liverpool-Burnley game with my brother, and Joe Barton was playing. I think it's probably one of the only times I've actually seen him play. And he had a really good game. And he got booed by everyone. It was great.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
He was in Team of the Season that year as well, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, he was in PFA Team of the Year.
Way.
Yeah, that's how good he was.
So. Yeah. Mad.
But when you read his list of teams now, you can see it winding down from this point. So he spends the year at Burnley and then goes to what you would think would be the best fit ever, Joey Barton, Rangers. That just seems so perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah, and everyone at the time was adamant that this was perfect transfer. Scottish football, it's not as good as English football. You'd think he would fit right, and he'd love, again, Rangers. Perfect club, similar to that Newcastle kind of thing. But yeah, didn't think it was a bit underwhelming.
And he played like half a season, didn't he? What he played? Oh no, not even that. I've written five games.
He played 5. Yeah, he played 5 games. Yeah.
Really? Why did he leave? Did he have a fallout or something? Probably.
Yeah.
I want to tell people who listen to this that I do my research in that, and that I'm bordering on good journalism. I got tired reading this by the end. I've just seen so much violence. I've never seen so much violence on a Wikipedia page. And I've get to the end of this and I'm just like, 5 games for Rangers. Yeah, move on.
It's funny because Wikipedia pages with most football players, or the ones we research anyway, you'd go on their personal life bit and it'd literally be 2 sentences. That'd literally be it.
Yeah.
Joey Barton's, it is dripping.
That personal
life bit is dripping.
It's got a subcategory just called views.
Yeah, views.
It's like if on UKIP and Brexit, I was like, oh, Joey.
Joey.
5 games Rangers. He shouldn't have left Burnley, let's be honest. But then he goes back to Burnley for 14 games. It looks like when I just glanced in the corner of my eye at my notes, subtly 14 games.
Yeah, it wasn't very many. He was obviously winding down his career then. He obviously liked being at Burnley, so just...
Yeah, definitely. But he wasn't... He may have been winding down, but the end of his career was not his decision. Because he got an 18-month ban for gambling.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Whilst he was at Burnley.
But he got the ban at Burnley, but I think it was when he was playing for Rangers that he was doing it.
Well, he was doing it his whole career.
Oh, was it over his whole career?
Oh, mate, look at some of the bets. They're hilarious. Look, mate, when he was at Man City, I want to know what you think about this. When he was at Man City, there was a game against Fulham in 2006. Backed himself to score first. Don't you think that's funny?
I think that is funny, and I get the whole betting thing, because like especially if you're betting on your games, but like if you're just betting on yourself to score first, I ain't got a problem with that. I think that's fine.
I mean, it is an issue if you've got a chance to square it and then you're taking shots.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
This looked to be
true.
the only one where he backed himself to score first that I saw. I only got there's over 1,000 bets. I read about 50 of them.
No way. Yeah, because my understanding, because I know when he was at Rangers, he got, I think they discovered there was like 40 odd bets between a certain time period. And I know that must have been the starting when it started all coming out, and then they went back further and yeah.
So this Man City one, that was 2006, and he went to Rangers in 2016. So that's 10 years worth of bets. There's one at Man City. He backed Samaras not to score first, just not to be the first goal scorer, which he won. Right. So he won a fiver on that bet, which it's just very blasted, isn't it?
What's the point in?
I don't know.
Did he just really not like Samaras or something?
Yeah, but like a fiver. It's like, I fucking hate him. I'm gonna put fiver on him not to score. Like it's some year 3 playground.
Oh, so bad. So
I think he backed against Newcastle in a Europa League game. I saw something Newcastle versus PSV. He backed PSV, something like that. So that's dodgy, isn't it? That's well out of order. He's a fucking idiot for that. Yeah. No excuse for that, is there at all?
No, that's poor.
So yeah, then he retires. Funnily enough, though, I remember this. When you and I first moved to London, 2017, Joe Barton's book was coming out. Cal and I lived Holloway Road. Do you remember there was a big poster for Joe Barton's autobiography for like 3 months at Holloway Road Station? And
I remember that. Yeah,
the book was coming out. It had just come out, and then the gambling thing happened. Like then it became big.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you need to take that off the shelf and add to it, because there's definitely more to that than meets the eye. And there has been a lot more, because now he's a manager. Went on to it was at Fleetwood for like 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, they're quite they backed him. They really backed him at Fleetwood. And yeah, they always seem to be doing a decent job, and then things kind of just potter out, and then they never quite get where they needed to be. Which I was kind of rooting for him a little bit there, but sacked eventually.
I had Fleetwood in my ACCA every week for a while, not because of Barton, because they had Paddy Madden.
Yeah,
he's my favourite ever player. So I was backing Fleetwood every week just so Paddy would score.
Well, Paddy Madden, he did well under Barton when he was there. He scored a lot of goals.
Paddy Madden, Ched Evans duo up front.
Yeah.
Name a more Barton sentence.
Yeah. But yeah, is that Bristol Rovers now?
He's gone to Bristol Rovers, yes.
Yeah.
This season. My dad hates Joe Barton because my dad's a sensible man. But I think he's backed against Bristol Rovers. I think he's just backing against Bristol Rovers every week at the minute, just because doesn't want Joey to win, and I can get behind that fully, because
it'll be quite profitable then, because they're struggling at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're in the bottom. They're down the bottom 4 or 5. Because they got relegated last season, didn't they? It wasn't his fault, but
no, he only came in summer, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want Bristol Rovers to win, back from my Yeovil roots. But do you remember when he was at Fleetwood? There was meant to be a Fleetwood Town documentary coming out. So much so that they released a trailer.
Yeah. What happened? Was it just?
I don't know if there's an official statement. I knew I knew the people who made it were trying to sell it to everyone, but by this point it was like a year old and no one was really wanting to buy it. No, so
Right.
Joey Barton isn't exactly like a safe bet for them to buy this. But it looked amazing.
No, it's true. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, I remember it coming out when we were living together. We were dead excited about it. We couldn't wait.
And the trailer was so good. I've seen the trailer so many times, and I wish I could see that show so much. I'm sure it'll come to light at some point, whether it's just free on YouTube or whatever. But it would have been great to see what Joey's like in the training, in the changing room and around the club.
Yeah. Speaking of good thing, the last Joey Barton-esque thing we'll mention, Joey Barton being Joey Barton, we'll never know what happened in the tunnel in that Fleetwood v Barnsley game. Big scuffle between him and the Barnsley manager.
Yes.
So much for his pressing charges. But no, it's his word against someone else's. But I'd love to know what happened in there. Apparently, it was a proper push-up.
I mean, we know what happened. We can't say it.
Yeah.
We know, but let's listen. Rewind the podcast. Listen to everything we've been saying. I think we can work out what happened.
You can join the dots.
Join the dots, yeah. But hey, would I love it if that was my manager? Maybe. Don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's probably too far. It's probably too far. To be honest.
I think the ship sailed now for Barton.
Yeah. I think we'll get sacked at Bristol Rovers and that'll be it, really. Honest.
Yeah. And yeah, probably so it should be. I think it's just best for everyone.
I think it's best for everyone if he just goes and does Strictly or something. Yeah.
Or the last thing, people watching, sorry, I'm just going to consult my notes here because I need to remember the exact details of this because honestly, I don't know why I found this so funny. But so Joey Barton owns a racehorse.
I was going to say this.
Sorry.
No, you go.
And yeah, it's called Crying Lightning after Arctic Monkeys song. But that's not the best part. He co-owns the horse with Claudio Pizarro, former Chelsea and Bayern Munich player. I just need to know how that happened. Those two co-owning a horse.
That's a sitcom, isn't it? How has that happened?
So it is. I was trying to look at their careers. And I thought, how have these two met? Or have they met? I don't know. I don't know the details. I'd love to, but I found that really funny when I was reading about it. So
another funny Barton thing. He popped up in the music video for a Morrissey song.
Morrissey. He loves Morrissey. He says Morrissey's his idol.
Oh, I mean, they're definitely mates, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Oh, bread and butter, those two, surely.
But yeah, I spend the day in bed. Morrissey's in a wheelchair. Just Joey Barton's wheeling him in at the start of the video for no apparent reason. And it's absolute gold. So if you want a bit of light-hearted Barton content, that's the one for you, because the rest of it is probably less light-hearted.
Yeah.
Right, so I think we've done a good job of dissecting the career of Joey Barton and avoiding saying things which could potentially land us or other people in trouble.
Yeah, and yeah, we don't want to talk about those things. It's not what we're here to do, is it?
No, it's a football podcast. We want to talk about the football, and let's be honest, the guy's a good footballer.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been about the Premier League as long as he was if he wasn't a good footballer and a very unique footballer. I'm happy he exists because he's completely different to any other footballer, I think.
Back briefly, little rewind to his England 1 cap at the start of the podcast. I forgot to mention this. Well, yeah, I forgot to mention this. So before he made his England debut, he slated the England players for bringing out autobiographies, didn't they? And then I think think Gerrard like laughed about it and was kind of like, yeah, like we probably deserved it. But Frank Lampard, I think he was quite outspoken, and then Barton came on for Lampard. Brilliant, that's great. Love that.
Yeah. He has a point.
I think he does.
After the 2006 World Cup, they brought out autobiographies.
Yeah. Why do people like Gerrard and Frank Lampard, who still had 10 years of their career left, give or take, why do they need to bring out an autobiography at that point?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get why people do autobiographies when they're still playing.
I hate that.
So much more.
No, I hate that with a passion. Why do footballers release autobiographies before they retire?
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would you not wait till you finish? Then you can tell your whole story.
Yeah. I also, if you were to ask the question, what's better, an autobiography or a biography? I don't think there's an answer. I think it depends on the person you try to talk about. With Barton, he's obviously written an autobiography, and I was thinking, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't be telling these stories. I think this is so much better if somebody else is exploring him as a character. That was kind of my issue with the autobiography, because it was him on the moral high ground the whole time, and it was didn't work. So I think it should have been someone else writing about him, but it probably exists, doesn't it? So yeah, I don't think I like football autobiographies very much.
No, I'm not a big fan. No, I agree. Totally.
Well, I think we're reaching a natural conclusion, but not before asking the important question. I nearly forgot last week, but I've written it down in block capitals here, so now I'm not going to forget it.
You'll never forget now.
After the riot that nearly happened here, after I nearly forgot, though, our 5 fans, they were furious.
Well, pitchforks outside your flat.
Callum, Joey Barton, do you think he should have got more England caps, that he just deserved the one, or he was lucky to get that one England cap?
I'm gonna go down the middle here and say deserve one cap but nothing more. And the reason I say that is I just think we had a lot of really good centre mids at the time, and I think Joey Barton was a good footballer, but we had a lot of good centre mids, and also he didn't help himself with the image of being an England player. Not that some other England players have helped their image over the years, but I mean, got his one cap, and then I'm pretty sure shortly after the whole Dabo thing.
Yeah.
So I think after that happened, England selection, they're probably thinking, we don't want that in an England camp. So yeah, one cap deserved, nothing more.
I understand that, because once it gets to 2007 and the Darbo thing happened, no, he didn't get an England call-up, rightfully so, after that.
Yeah.
Even though he played potentially better after that. I'm going to say no, he shouldn't have got the cap. Fuck him. I don't want him.
Yeah.
I don't want him in my England top, man. We got so many role models coming through now in the team, and it makes you realise how lucky we are to have these characters now. And then we look at someone like Barton, and I'm just like, yeah, sure, I like the name of his racehorse, but I don't like a lot of the other stuff he does. So no, I don't think he should have got an England cap. And I mentioned about potential boxing matches with England one caps. Barton would batter me. So if I see him in person, I am just going to grovel and take all of this back, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But I don't think you deserve that England cap, Joe. Sorry.
No, he doesn't. And a Barton boxing match would be great for views, and would probably do better. Be more of a commercial success than you versus John Flanagan. But I don't think your heart would be in a Joey Barton boxing match, whereas John Flanagan, you're getting mentioned until you reply. We're not letting it rest, Rob. I'm not having it.
I'm not having it. I'll batter him as well. That's just facts. I can have him. Joey might beat me, but me and Flanagan have a good old scrap.
Oh yeah. I've be a good contest, I reckon. One day it'll happen. Probably, maybe not.
One fine day. I don't know. I feel like the way this podcast's going, I'm soon going to overtake him in terms of level of fame and status. So I don't know what I have to prove anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
it gets to a point when you think, why do I need it? John Flanagan going to be doing a podcast calling you out soon, I reckon.
Well, we'll have more views. Right, let's wrap it up. Now we've completed a five-a-side team. Chris Kirkland in goal, Stephen Corker in defence, Joey Barton, Matt Jarvis in midfield. Barton can go where he wants because he's so versatile, and Dean Ashton up top. And I think that's what I have a five-a-side team.
Yeah, and Dean Ashton would be a great five-a-side striker.
Oh yeah, he's not leaving that penalty box.
No.
Right, that's all we've got to talk about here today.
Sorry, guy, my neck just went there. That's why I was stretching out. Oh, what a shambles! End of the podcast. Come on.
Are you okay with me talking, or do you want to try and get the attention again?
I'm just trying to steal the limelight.
Is it because I always say the last bit? You can say the last bit if you want.
I don't think I could. I could. You're better at it than me. You say the last bit. See us out. Take so.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Oh, fucking hell.
You don't want me to do it?
You should have done it, mate.
Like, subscribe, Instagram. Oh, and we're on Twitter now as well. And we'll get it added to the link tree.
Yes, fantastic.
So you can access that. But for people who are listening now and they want to follow our Twitter page, I'll tell you what it is right now, if you give me time. Maybe I can't remember. Rob, talk about something while I tell the people.
I want to thank Rez, my barber, for listening to this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Spurs fan. No Spurs references today.
No. Well, Twitter's playing up, guys, but it'll be in the link tree. This has been a great end to the podcast.
We've fallen to pieces.
This is great. No, this is natural. This is good.
This last 5 minutes is like Joey Barton's Rangers career. Absolute shambles. Yeah. Okay, we're signing off now. Do all the subscribing stuff that we mentioned. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be with you soon.